You probably know Emma McAdam. Probably that is why you are here. Like she who runs therapy in a nutshell with a massive subscriber base, genuine clinical training, and well intentioned content that reaches millions, right? Someone forwarded me her video wherein she talks about 4 skills to stop overthinking, and she wanted to know whether I, as a psychologist, agree with all these 4 skills as the absolute clear cut path. Having watched the whole thing, I found myself standing in a sinkhole of questions, right? But 2 things before we get into it. First, missing parts will lead to missing context, and misinformation registered in your brain is not good for your mental health. And so, watch this full video. And second, because I'm responding to someone with serious clinical standing, everything I say here carries accountability. And so, I would expect you to hold me to that, right? And if you would like to tag Emma on this video, please do. Now, point one about worry. Emma says schedule your worry. Give it a dedicated 20-minute window daily. Outside that window, redirect. And this advice has been around for decades, right? Cognitive behavioral therapists, productivity coaches, wellness educators, everyone says this. It appears in research, in self help books, in clinical training. It works for some people. So, what makes me pause? The person it does not work for, the one who has been anxious every single day for years, who has tried the timetable and still cannot stop. Chronic worry is not a scheduling failure. It is a nervous system that learned to stay on alert because alertness once kept that person safe. When you understand where the worry actually comes from, the question of how to work with it changes completely. Now, number 2, which is about intrusive thoughts. Emma says label your brain a word machine. Thank it for the thought, then redirect. This is also called cognitive diffusion, a real and researched technique from acceptance and commitment therapy. It is taught in clinical programs, practiced in therapy rooms across the world. And for many people, it genuinely creates a distance from a distressing thought. So, why am I asking questions then? Well, because the person having those intrusive thoughts is not always someone who just needs distance. Sometimes they are someone with OCD, with trauma history, with depression, where that thought is not noise but a symptom. Teaching someone to observe their symptom neutrally before understanding what is producing it, maybe asking them to manage something that first needs to be understood differently. Now, point 3, it's about over planning. Emma says over planning is control disguised as preparation. Do things imperfectly, take a spontaneous trip, post before you are ready. This is widely accepted behavioral advice. Exposure to uncertainty, tolerance for imperfection, building comfort with discomfort. Therapists say it, coaches say it. It is treated almost as a universal correction for a personality flaw. But here is where I pause. Most people who overplan did not choose this. They built it in environments where being unprepared had real consequences. In homes where things fell apart without warning. In relationships where being caught off guard cost them something. The behavior makes complete sense once you know where it came from. And that origin changes everything about how you approach it. And then we have point 4, which is rumination. Emma says find the value underneath your regret and take one small tangible action. This is a very grounded and solid psychological thinking, values based action, behavioral activation, moving the brain by moving the body. It is recommended globally. It appears in evidence based frameworks and for someone mildly stuck in a loop. It can genuinely shift something. So, where does it get complicated? When the person who cannot stop replaying the past is not stuck in a thinking pattern, but inside a depressive episode. Rumination at clinical levels is a symptom, not a habit. And the question of what it will take for that person to act is not a question about values. It is a question about what the brain needs before action becomes possible at all. So, I'll share with you a story. A girl in her 20s, employed at a big consulting firm, suddenly stopped interacting with the 2 year old boy next door, right? Not because she disliked him, because a thought had started appearing in her brain, uninvited, every single day. What if she harmed this child? During work hours, back at home, in quiet moments, that thought would surface and she could not get rid of it. The shame of it was so consuming that she could not even tell her mother or her partner. She went to psychologists, repeated sessions with more than one, and every single one of them, in their own way, offered some version of the four skills Emma offered to stop your overthinking. But when it was my turn, I did not offer her a new skill. I went looking for the root of that thought, where it came from, what it meant, and a clear analysis of why she was not in any position to act on it. That is it. That is the whole difference. She's doing really well today. She still gets into overthinking sometimes, but those are different situations now. But talking about you, should you carry alone something for which expert help exists? If anything is very nearly bothering you, let us talk. And we will figure out together how to weed the odds out of your way. Link is in the description.